Okay, guys, I try to forecast trends. I try to stay on top of trends. I try to stay on certain stories. Now, for the last couple days, I've been following a story here, and I'm going to let you guys in on the story I'm following. It's a very, very important story, and it's from what I think it is. I mean, it's incredible. Here it is, and I'm going to try to explain it to you. It's got to do with the cryptocurrencies. We have never seen anything like cryptocurrencies before. All the time I was alive, I've never seen anything like them. And when I was first introduced to them, I knew that they were something special. But I didn't know how special they really were until now I'm starting to realize, I'm coming to a realization. Now I'm going to show you a scene. It's a tragedy. I'm going to show you. I'm going to explain it out for you first, and I'm going to play. It's a video clip that's come from Russia. And there's these things called zorb balls. And what a zorb ball is, it's this big giant plastic ball, and there's a hole in one side of it, and people can actually get inside the zorb ball, inside the ball, and they're somewhat protected from a fall or whatever, because they're inside this big rubber ball, and the ball protects them from the ground that's underneath them. And it's more or less, they roll these zorb balls, and the guy's inside it. It's more or less like in the old days, guy used to get inside a tire, and he used to roll down a hill or whatever inside a tire. And you bounce up and down, and you're somewhat protected inside this zorb ball. But if you take a 100-foot fall inside the zorb ball, it's a tragedy. You're probably going to get killed if you take a 100-foot fall. But you can take like a 10-foot fall, a normal fall that would normally break your bones, and you don't get hurt. You can fall like 10 feet, maybe 15 feet. And so that you're somewhat protected, right? You're not completely protected. Now, what happens in this scene is this guy's going to roll one of these zorb balls down a hill with two Russian guys inside it, two young men inside it. And they're doing it just for fun. Somebody's supposed to catch them at the bottom of the hill, and it's kind of like sledding, when you go sledding in the snow or skiing down a hill. It's the same idea, right? Well, what happens is when this stupid zorb ball gets down to the bottom of the hill, it decides to make a left-hand turn and go off the mountain. Now, there's a young man. Now, this is where I want you to really watch. There's a young man down at the bottom of the hill. Watch the young man at the bottom of the hill when the zorb ball gets down to the bottom of the hill. Watch him very carefully. He almost becomes a hero. He realizes what's going to happen. He realizes that the zorb ball's heading toward the cliff. And he realizes that the two young men's lives are in jeopardy that's inside the zorb ball. He throws himself in front of the zorb ball, but the zorb ball's too heavy, and it hits him and it knocks him over. And then he goes chasing after the zorb ball, trying to stop it, to do anything to stop it. But the zorb ball gets bouncing too fast, and it gets away from him. But what I'm pointing out is the fact that he threw himself in front of the zorb ball and tried to stop it. He gave it everything he could to try to stop it. And if he had stopped it, he would have stopped and averted a tragedy. This tragedy, one of the young men inside the zorb ball died. In this, what you're going to see. The other young man inside the zorb ball sustained a very bad injuries. He lived, but he sustained a very bad concussion and so on. Okay, so if he had been successful stopping the zorb ball, he could have averted a tragedy. Now, where I'm going with this is a tragedy could be starting to unfold right before our eyes. Something so big, something so unbelievable, and it all has to do with these cryptocurrencies. And now I'm going to give credit to Vic Swear and the Road to Ruta. He's got a show on here that I've looked at, and I'm going to go into detail about this show and his forensic analysis of something very important as soon as you're done watching this clip of the zorb ball go off the hill. Okay, now to get to the nitty-gritty of what I'm talking about. Vic Swear's done an analysis of, he calls it Operation Crypto Crush, a forensic analysis of the 2017 to 2018 crypto market rigging operation. That's right. It seems like and I was suspect that something's going on. When the crypto prices ran up so quickly, all the way up to $20,000. I was suspect of this, but I didn't really have my finger on it. Bix has got his finger on it, and I think he's right. I think that this was a crypto market rigging operation. But we all think that, hey, this is a bad thing. Just like that young man at the bottom of the hill tried to stop the zorb ball, this rigging operation to try to stop Bitcoin might be like the zorb ball. And we might be like the people that are inside the zorb ball. They might be trying to save us with this crypto market rigging operation, and trying to destroy crypto. It might be like stopping the zorb ball. Crypto might be the death of us all, or a good chunk of people on the earth. It might be something that is going to actually destroy us. And I'm going to have to talk about this a little bit more. And this is a trend that I'm starting to see just recently. And the reason why, I'll get to the explanation too. I'm going to jump ahead of myself a little bit right here and get to the explanation why I think that crypto might be the destruction of us. We have a integrated financial system. It's all like integrated and all connected in together, and it's all layered with the banks. And it's been this way forever. Like, we've slowly built this thing over the ages up until what we have now, which is a structure of a banking system, and we use dollars or we use whatever currency is available to us in our country, and it's all layered in, and it's all connected with the banking systems. You just can't disrupt all of this quickly. You just can't uproot it all quickly and expect to go to something else without it crushing everything. Now, I know I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit here, but think about what cryptocurrencies enable you to do. The banks, all through our lifetimes, the banks have acted as a middleman. That's what they are. They are the third party in any transactions. They verify, basically the only thing that they do is verify our transactions and hold our money for us. And verify our transactions. But isn't that what any good cryptocurrency wallet does? A cryptocurrency wallet allows you to be your own bank. It verifies any transaction and does it quicker and more effectively than any bank. And the second thing it does, it allows you to hold your own money in your own possession without the need for a bank. This is so disruptive to the banking system. And one of the reasons why is if the cryptocurrency really gets going, really starts to take off big. And it's been slowly growing over the years, bigger and bigger. But if it hits a certain point, at a certain point, it will take off because a lot of people out there start to know what it is. They know how it functions, an awful lot more people, and they will actually start using it as their own bank. If the valuations of the cryptocurrencies are steady and level and even, and it seems like it's a good investment, and the price is slowly going upwards, but not rapidly, but it's a very stable, if it becomes a very stable currency, the masses will go for adoption of this. But what's going to happen if the masses go for adoption? Well, first thing that's going to happen is the price is going to slowly climb, or even rapidly climb. Everybody's going to start getting on board. And how are they going to get the money that they're going to use to pay for this new cryptocurrency now that they're making the transition from their normal bank account to a cryptographic bank account that they hold on their computer? Well, it's very simple. They're going to go into the bank, they're going to take their money out. Depositors' money. Can we say bank run? Can we say banks going under? And this is where it gets tricky, because as the cryptocurrency starts to grow exponentially like that, it leads to more growth, and it leads to more panic of people out there trying to get out of the regular financial institutions. You just can't haul the plug out of all of the world's financial institutions. I know another way of explaining this to you. I'll use a illustration. Say you were living in the north. Say you lived in Minnesota. And it's wintertime. And say it was 20 degrees below zero outside. Right? And say your only means of heat was a heat pump in your house. You know, it's like a reverse air conditioner or a heat pump. Most of you know what a heat pump is. So you got your heat pump plugged in to 220 volts. You know? And it's 20 degrees below zero outside that night. Well, you're going to be fine as long as you leave that heat pump plugged in. Your house will stay warm as long as you leave that switch on your circuit box turned on and you can hear that heat pump humming away, you know, and it's blowing that nice warm air into your house and you're nice and you're cuddled up in your warm house and everything. But now what would happen if you suddenly went over and switched that heat pump off and did not turn it back on and left it off? Your house would start to drop the temperature every 10 minutes. All night long would drop like 5 degrees. You'd start to see your breath inside your house after only the first 30 minutes. And this is what would happen to everybody on Earth if we pull the plug on the banking institutions. Worse, because all of the just-in-time supply chains, everything is all connected and done a certain way. It took years to implement all this. It all runs, and it doesn't work the best in the world, but it works. It gets the food to our grocery stores, right? And Bitcoin coming in, and the cryptocurrencies in general coming in, if mass adoption were to occur, it would occur so fast. It would be such disruptive technology that it would give a hard landing to the banking system. You cannot do this. If you understand what I'm saying, and a lot of you are getting what I'm saying now. You're starting to get the meat of what I'm getting at now. All of a sudden, you're starting to get the meat of what I'm getting at. You just cannot suddenly pull the plug on the financial system and switch over to a cryptographic financial system without the disruption giving us a hard landing. What's so-called a hard landing? In other words, something that maybe we can't even imagine. So, I'm going to read a little bit more of this article that Road to Root has got here, and he's uncovered something. Operation Crypto Crush, a forensic analysis of the 2017 through 2018 crypto market rigging operation. And he says what they were trying to do, I believe, if I'm getting this right, I believe he says that they were trying to destroy crypto. And I think he's probably right. That's probably what they were trying to do. If we go on, we look a little bit further in the article here, we can see that this was a coordinated effort. I'm going to read it to you what they were doing. He said they produced staggering sales of, once they achieved their goal, which was they invested money and they achieved their goal of $20,000 Bitcoin, these big players, then they started their dump part of the pump. First they pumped it, they pumped Bitcoin, and then they dumped it. On December 18th, 2017, the first dump come with 2,000 Bitcoins. December 22nd, 2017, 6,000 Bitcoins were sold to break the 2-day price stabilization at 17,000. So the price stabilized at 17,000 after their first dump. And then they sold 6,000 more Bitcoins, exactly 6,000 more Bitcoins, to break the 2-day price stabilization at 17,000. Then, on January 17th, 2018, they sold 8,000 more Bitcoins after testing the $12,000 support level. Then on January 31st, they sold 6,000 more Bitcoins after testing the $10,000 support level. On February 5th, 2018, they sold a whopping 18,000 Bitcoins to destroy the final $8,000 support and bring Bitcoin down to sub $6,000. So it looks like that this was a on February 2nd, too, after this, that says Bank of America, Citigroup. Now, these are the players, evidently, in this, or possibly the players in this. Bank of America, Citigroup, Capital One, JP Morgan announced that they will refuse to allow cryptocurrency purchases with credit cards. So they're cutting off the source of money flowing into the cryptocurrencies. January 30th, Facebook bans cryptocurrency-related advertising. Google and YouTube bans cryptocurrency-related advertising on March 26th. Twitter bans cryptocurrency-related advertising. And they also, at the same time, they put out tons of sovereign government FUD to keep cryptos down through the first quarter. So this is a coordinated effort. Now, an awful lot of us look at this and think, well, this is these dirty bankers doing this coordinated effort. And I'm starting to think, well, maybe this is not. This cryptocurrency is kind of like that zorb ball, and maybe they're acting like the guy at the bottom of the hill who's trying to do everything he can to stop it before it gets going too much and gets too strong. Because if it gets going and gets too strong, it's going to destroy the banking industry. So maybe they're doing this in their own self-interest. But it could also destroy us, because the banking industry is like a giant leech or some sort of a giant octopus that's connected itself with so many different arms. It's got himself connected to us, and it's sucking blood out of us. But at a certain point, it's got so much connected to us that if you pull it free too quickly, well, the host will die. If you pull the parasite off too quickly, the host will die, sort of thing. And maybe that they were actually saving us from this, because this thing, this zorb ball of Bitcoin that I'm trying to explain, this enormous thing that's rolling down the hill and gaining speed. Right, and they threw themselves in front of it here with their operation to try to destroy it, which is possibly not over yet. They might try harder, but now it seems to be bouncing back again in price. It's a gain of momentum, just like that zorb ball. Once it got past that guy, he slowed it down, but once it got past him, it gained momentum as it headed toward the cliff. And when it went over the cliff, you notice, and it started to free fall, how fast it went then? Well, the Bitcoin might do the same thing after it, say, passes 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, and our own greed might start taking over, and people might start buying into the cryptocurrencies like mad. And where are they going to get the money? Where are they going to get the money? It's going to come out of the regular banking system. And when cryptocurrency passes, like last time, it went to $750 billion. $750 billion. How high could it go this time? 1 trillion? 2 trillion? And at what point? $1.5 trillion? 2 trillion maybe? Does it start to have a mind of its own, like the zorb ball? And does it start to actually suck so much money out of the regular banking system and out of the dollar and everything else that all the world starts to fold in around cryptocurrency? I mean, I hate to even say that, but our own greed will feed it. And more and more, as it starts to grow like that, it would become more and more disruptive to everything that we have. This thing's a monster. This thing is a monetary black hole. And I'm just looking at it and I'm saying, how far might this thing go? How disruptive might it be? What could it actually do to us? Could it create a financial crisis that could destroy everything? Because we just can't unlock all of a sudden from the banking system and from our credit cards and from our debit cards and everything that we use for money, our cash and everything else, just all of a sudden unlock and have all of that money transfer over into cryptographic without some sort of a crazy hard landing. Well, listen, this is what I'm looking at right now, and this is what I'm thinking about, and this is what I'm seeing. So listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe. And I'm going to put my crypto Litecoin address and my Bitcoin address and stuff in the description, and my Dash address, you know. And if you guys want to donate a little bit of this crazy cryptocurrency to me, go right on ahead. Thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next show. Bye.